to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, South Florida. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show. Getting a little raspy this morning. Already had one show this morning. I got to tell you, our next expert, this show has become so popular, and after you listen to Attorney Andrew Rosenberg one time, you'll see why. We've actually now extended the show to the entire East Coast of Florida. So we go way up north now in promoting this show because we were getting letters from Vero Beach, people telling us how much they enjoy the show. This is a great show because we've got such a great expert. We're talking about estate planning today. And the reason why is people have congratulated us. I wish they would write Andrew, but they write us telling us how nice it is to be able to understand an attorney, and they love the personality. Welcome, Attorney Andrew Rosenberg.
Hey, Steve-O. Good morning, guys. How's everyone doing today?
Bro, you are getting a fan club, I got to tell you. And actually, we had someone write us that said they've seen your podcast you do. I think it's on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell I do any of this stuff. I have my staff. They just tell me where to go, and I do my thing, and then they put it all up because I'm too old to understand any of this crap.
Yeah, right. Andrew, I got to tell you, people love your personality, first of all, but they really like the way you break such an intricate estate planning down and you make it so easy. And, we have an older demographics, and that is so important.
Yeah, no, you know what? Listen, Steve, I'm now officially old. I'm 57 years old, but it's taken me 30 plus years to, I think, get to a point where over these 30 years, I've really tried to make sure that it makes sense to my clients. And when I do my workshops and all that stuff, I try to bring it to, listen, this stuff can be pretty complicated, but I really want to bring it down to a level that makes sense so that everyone understands it. And that's really important to me. So it's nice to hear that you're getting feedback from that. I appreciate it.
And you've got a workshop coming up too.
I do. I have one coming up this coming Wednesday, actually,
Yes.
in Coral Springs. Yeah, at Total Wine in Coral Springs, right on University Drive in that area. And it's usually about an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half. And we talk everything estate planning, and it's really in a give and take. I let my people that are there that come to ask tons and tons of questions, and I sit there and answer questions all hour and a half along, as well as have topics to go over. So it's usually pretty entertaining and informative, which is what I want for my clients.
What time is it again, Andrew?
It's going to be this coming Wednesday. 5:30 is when it's called for. We usually, it's Florida time, South Florida time. So no one freaking shows up on time, Steve-O. So
I know.
I call for 5:30. We usually start at like 5:40 because I got people showing up 10 minutes into the workshop before, and that's usually when I get going. So I try to do it from about 5:30, 5:40 to 7 o'clock. We're done. I don't care if we're done or not. I'm tired. I want to go home and eat dinner. So we're done by then.
Well, Coral Springs Total Wine's so easy to find. It's right there. It's on University. I know the place well. It's a great center, and we'll also announce this towards the end of the show. Andrew, tell people about your firm.
So the firm is been around for a long time. I live in Weston, but my office is in the Coral Springs area, right off the Sawgrass and University Drive in South Florida. And the law firm consists of me, I'm the only attorney. I've always been the only attorney, and that's by choice because I know that I hear people all the time that they never meet with the attorney, they never speak to the attorney, all this crap. And I'm like, I never wanted that to happen. So the buck stops with me. So if someone wants to speak to the attorney, it's me. So it's my office. I have a pretty large staff. I think I have like 5 to 7 people working for me. But I am the only attorney, and we do wills, trust, estate planning, probate, and elder law, and that's our focus. And I enjoy it. I've been doing it a long time. People ask me what happens if I die, and that's a great question. And I tell people, listen, I'm human, so I'm not going to be here forever. And if something were to happen to me, my clients all have their original documents. I scan them in and make sure we have copies of everything. But they have all the originals. I tell them, God forbid I'm not here, you can go to any other estate planning or elder law attorney that knows what they're doing, and they should be able to pick it up and handle things from that point forward, moving forward, if that should ever happen.
Well, those things do happen, as you and I know from our past estate planning attorney back years ago. But
Yeah.
Andrew, you know what? The question we get most about your show is, and I was surprised. I thought a lot more people knew about elder law.
Yeah.
And because we get so many people, I want to start off with that today, so I make sure I get that in.
Okay. Yeah. And then I want to talk about what happened to me over this holidays. I think
Yes.
the clients, the fans will appreciate it. So here's what I like to describe elder law as. Elder law, and people, other attorneys may describe it differently, Steve, but I like to describe it as follows. When we get elderly, things change. And unfortunately, a lot of things change in regards to maybe you need to get into an assisted living or home health care or nursing home situation. So I like to
Long-term care.
describe the elder law. Yeah, I like to describe the elder law area as the area where we're at a point where my husband, my wife, my brother or sister, we got to take care of him or her, and we need to get him or her into an assisted living or to a nursing home or home health care or something of that nature. And the problem with that, Steve-O, is, at least, listen, every state's different. So if you're listening in another state, you need to follow those state mandates. But the problem with it is that there's only 3 ways that we can deal with paying for home health care, for assisted living or nursing home. And the first and best way, by the way, is through long-term care insurance. And the goal is everyone should have long-term care insurance, but I will tell you probably 80% of the people out there do not have it because it's so freaking expensive.
Yes, right.
And it's horrible. It's horrible. And you know what the other problem is with the long-term care insurance, at least over these past many years, is that people that do have the long-term care insurance, they keep jacking up these premium rates every year. And it's getting to a point where it's unaffordable for the elderly to pay for it. So they end up dropping it. And then once they drop it, they're bare, and then they're screwed because now if something happens, what the hell are they going to do? And that's the problem. So elder care deals with this whole mess, in my opinion. And so, but here's what I want people to understand is that if you have home health care or you need home health care, assisted or nursing home, the first way to pay for it is with long-term care insurance. If you haven't gotten long-term care insurance, it's probably too late, and that's all right. I see that all the time. So then the second way that these places get paid is, believe it or not, your assets and your income. That's where it comes from. And what happens, unfortunately, is it's expensive as you know what, and it's crazy. And so your assets get dwindled pretty quickly on a monthly basis, as well as your income, until we reach a point where there's not enough assets or income, and then Medicaid will kick in. And that's the 3-tier system that I like to call for elder care. And how do you plan for that? Is we got long-term care insurance. Then next on the level is your assets and your income until you basically got nothing left. And then Medicaid comes in and pays for everything. And so what the question becomes, Well, how much are we talking about in income and how much are we talking about in assets before Medicaid kicks in? And the answer is, if you're single, I'm going off memory, so forgive me, guys, if I'm off a little bit. If you're single, you have to have $2,000 or less of income of assets. That's it. You're only allowed to have $2,000. Anything above that, you do not qualify for Medicaid. And your income has to be, I believe it's $2,601 a month or less to qualify. So if you have more than that in income or more than that in assets, you're going to have to dwindle that income or that income and those assets until it's below that before Medicaid will kick in. So a lot of times what we do, and Florida's very good about this, is we're allowed to do what I call, and I talk about this in the workshop, by the way, what I call crisis Medicaid planning, where I got someone that needs to go into an assisted living or nursing home now, and they have too much in income and too much in assets, or either or both. So what we do is we prepare legal documents that are allowed in the state of Florida, because Florida's been very lenient in regards to Medicaid planning, and we can move assets into legal documents, and we can legally move income into legal documents and get you qualified technically overnight, but within a very short period of time, so that all that income and all those all those assets don't get taken away by the nursing home or assisted living, and hopefully will stay within the family. So that I know it's a long-winded way of explaining what elder care is, but again, I'm going to summarize it. Elder care is dealing with, in my opinion, is dealing with the time when you need help, when you need home health care, assisted living, or long-term care, and how do you pay for it? And is it through long-term care? Is it through your assets and income? Or can we plan to hide legally your assets and your income to get you qualified so that Medicaid pays for it? That's different than estate planning. Estate planning is dealing with death and disability and all those other things, but elder care is more specific and dealing with like nursing home and assisted living situations. Did that help?
Yes. You know, the sad part is, Andrew, we're here in South Florida and we do three major HOA condo shows here in
Right.
South Florida. And, you know, the people who are in these associations, which are many, 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 many people, are having so much trouble now with their finances. I mean,
Yep.
it's really bad down here in South Florida. I mean, we get
Yeah.
the letters. So, but it's so important. And this is the part of the show about planning. It is the most important thing. And one of the things you told me in the beginning, which I loved, is you said, I want to keep my clients out of probate because probate can get really expensive. And,
Yes.
you know, you do this, I mean, you do this to make a living. And here you are telling people, I want to keep you out of probate. I thought that has stuck in my mind for so long when you said that to me.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I handle probate every day, Steve-O, but it's not something that I want to do, because if it's my clients, my goal has always been to avoid that situation. And maybe it's being penny wise and pound foolish, I don't know, but I've always believed that if I do the right thing for the client and for the family, and we avoid a long-term legal mess where I get paid a lot of money, but I get paid up front a little bit, to do the right thing, then in the long run, I'm going to get a lot of business because I'm doing the right thing. I can put my head down at night knowing I sleep well, and although I don't sleep that great, but but knowing I've done the right thing, and then I get a lot of referrals and recommendations because of that. And I think I have a ton of Google reviews. I think over 430 or so
Wow.
5.0s, because I'm just trying to do the right thing. Probate is a freaking nightmare, and it's a disaster, and it's expensive. And if any way I can try to avoid it for my clientele, that's what we do. So yeah, I've always believed in that process. But listen, Steve, I got to tell you a story.
I want to hear it.
Okay, so we've had the holidays. Obviously, we had Passover I'm Jewish, so we had Passover and the
Yes.
2 nights of Seder, and then we had obviously Good Friday and Easter yesterday, and all this stuff. So listen to this crazy story. How everyone's going to appreciate this, and I'll bring the legal into it. I promise you. So, so I was doing some work in the house about a week and a half ago, and I got up the next day, and I had major lower back spasms, like I've never had before. Like I told my wife, I said, I think I'm officially getting older because I was doing stuff, and I think I was just in a weird position, and I woke up with horrible back spasms, and it kept getting worse and worse during the week. And then this is right before Passover, so this is Saturday was the first night of Passover last week, and it was at our house. We had like 25 people over, so we're preparing for all this, and I'm having this major back pain. And Thursday night of that week, I realized that at the last minute, I'm like, oh my God, this is not strained muscles. I'm having a kidney stone. And by Friday morning, 2 or 3 in the morning, I actually passed the kidney stone. Unfortunately, I've had about 12 to 14 kidney stones. I'm prone to these kidney stones. I'm doing everything I can to avoid them. So I have the kidney stone right before the holiday. I'm all excited. I'm like, oh my God, I'm done. I don't have any more pain.
Own, Andrew?
Yeah, I passed it on my own. I've always passed it on my own. So we get through that, and then Friday, preparing all day for the Seder. Saturday, people come over. We have a great Seder Saturday. Sunday, we have another Seder at a friend's house, and it was fantastic. I get up Sunday, and I'm exhausted. I get up Monday to go to work. I'm exhausted. I'm working all day, and I just didn't feel right. So Monday evening, I kept getting worse and worse, and I looked at my wife. I said, I got to go to the hospital. She goes, what's wrong? I go, I think I got a kidney stone again. And so we went to the hospital we went to the hospital. It gets better. We went to the hospital on Monday night, and I was in a lot of pain. They ended up doing a CT scan and everything else, and put me on. They couldn't put me on I forget the medication. I forget the medication that they always put you on when you have kidney stones to help. They couldn't put it on because they found out that I had a 6 millimeter stone that was moving, that was stuck.
Wow.
In my ureter area, and they said that your kidney's starting to get backed up a little bit. So they gave me morphine, and they said, listen, try and drink a lot of water and go home, and if you feel sick, come back, and then we might have to admit you. So I went home that night, and I did whatever I did. I got up Tuesday, went to the office, worked Tuesday, had a full day of meetings, and by 12:30, I was ready to pass out. I was in so much pain. And in the middle of a client meeting, I looked at her. I said, listen, we got to reschedule. I'm going right to the hospital. So I drove home from the office, which was about 25 minutes to the house. My wife took me to the hospital Tuesday afternoon. And Tuesday afternoon, evening, I was in so much pain that when I got into the ER, I couldn't even talk. I was in so much pain. I don't cry. I was ready to cry. That's how much pain. I've had a heart attack, Steve-O.
Were you at Cleveland?
I was at Cleveland Clinic in Weston. Yeah. And I've had more pain as a heart attack victim. I mean, less pain as a heart attack victim than as having this kidney stone. And I was at the point where I was ready to roll on the emergency room floor because I was in so much pain. And they yelled at me, you can't roll on the floor. It's illegal, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, listen, guys, I'm in pain. You got to take me back. They took me back. They ran the CT scan again, and it showed that it barely moved. And it showed that my kidney levels were going in the wrong direction quickly. So I was backed up, and it was causing major problems. So they squeezed me in, and I had to have emergency surgery on Tuesday night to the lithotripsy or whatever. And they went in through in the my privates.
Yes.
And they zapped it. I had 3 kidney stones. I had a small one. I had a 6 millimeter one that was stuck. And then there was a 10 millimeter that was in the kidney that they zapped out. So it was crazy. So I had this whole thing going on.
In my Jewish mind, I'm going, how did you do the Seders?
I know.
Two.
So, but here's what, and I know we don't have a lot of time, but here's the point. When I was in the emergency room, I could hardly talk. I had at Cleveland Clinic, they had on file, because I did this in advance, they had my healthcare directive, my living will, and my HIPAA documents all on file in the system, and my wife could do all the talking for me, and they had everything in place. And that was the moral of the story is as follows. Listen, we don't know when the S is going to hit the fan when it comes to health issues. So I always tell all my clients, one of the most important things you can do is with your healthcare surrogate, your living will, and your HIPAA document, give a copy to your primary doctor when you see them so they have a copy on file. And if you have a hospital that you go to on a regular basis, I live in Weston. Cleveland Clinic is the major hospital here. I went to Cleveland Clinic many years ago, and I gave them copies, and they scanned it in, and they had it in the system. So when they pulled my name up, they already saw it, and they knew who was in charge.
Right.
So the moral of the story legally is you need to make sure you do that if you can. Some hospitals won't hold it, but most will because they want to have that on file. So you need to take care of that. The other moral of the story is, how do I get rid of kidney stones? Because I'm prone to them, and that's why I'm actually in the car waiting, because I have an emergency meeting to take out the stent right now, thank goodness, but also to meet with a nephrologist to figure out what we can do diet-wise to get rid of this stuff.
Exactly. Oh my God. You know what people say, they love your stories. I don't know if they were ready for this one.
This is true. It's a crazy story, and I've never been in this much pain, ever.
Andy, tell people how they can reach you and about your educational workshop that you're going to be doing on Wednesday.
Yeah. So we have an educational workshop coming up Wednesday, 5:30 at Total Wine in Coral Springs, Florida. Again, Wednesday the 21st at 5:30 Total Wine. It will be about an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half meeting. Question and answer session, very informative. People love the workshops. It's called Estate Planning Essentials. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff there. And if you need to call to make a reservation, or if you want to contact my office to make an appointment with us, the office number is 954-755-7803, 954-755-7803.
Hey, get better, okay? We need you. Get better.
I'm hopefully going to be better in the next half hour when that stent gets taken out.
Absolutely. Andrew, thank you so much, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
You got it, buddy. Have a great rest of the day.
God bless you, bro.
Bye now.
That's attorney Andrew Rosenberg. Oh, my God. You know, people, you write about how much you love his stories. I bet you weren't ready for that one. Hey, that's going to do it for us today. We'll be back again with you next week with more Ask the Experts. Thank you, Rebel. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.